With a Democratic supermajority in Trenton, GOP lawmakers are using the budget process as a way to highlight their fiscal concerns and goals under this new administration, questioning everything from school funding to the governor's proposed business tax plan. Assemblyman Mike Inganamort has been vocal on both of those points, and he joins us now as part of our Under the Dome series. Assemblyman, thanks for being with us. Good to talk to you today.
Likewise. Thanks for having me.
You recently questioned Treasurer Aaron Binder in a hearing, asking him about Governor Sherrill's proposed business tax plan. Just break down what some of your concerns are when it comes to gross revenue versus net.
You know, two small words, tremendous impact for small businesses, particularly as they are evaluating the size of their profit or income. And what concerns me most about the governor's proposal in this regard is that she would gauge the eligibility of a small business for various deductions and the opportunity to carry forward losses based on their gross revenue. Well, as I explained to the treasurer, gross revenue, frankly, gives you an inflated sense of a business's profitability. I use the example of a gas station that the average independent, family-owned small gas station in New Jersey has a gross revenue last year of around $3.6 million. $3.2 million of that goes right out the door to pay for the fuel that they are selling. So most gas stations in the state of New Jersey and small businesses in the retail and restaurant space have high margins, high volume, very thin margins. And thus I'm really concerned that the governor would evaluate these businesses based on gross revenue and in many cases make them no longer eligible for various business deductions.
During the hearing, the treasurer seemed to be open to working with you. Have you had any follow-up conversations? Does it seem like this administration is willing to reconsider that plan?
To be determined. We did have a nice exchange. It was substantive. It was based on facts. It gives me hope that when I come down here to Trenton and present an argument that is clear and articulated based on facts and numbers and specific examples, we can maybe start to change minds here in the State House. So we are anticipating having additional conversations with the treasurer. He did open the door to changing this policy, which would have a very harmful impact on small businesses throughout New Jersey.
Yeah, just quickly, what would those harms be as you see it?
Well, it would make many small businesses no longer able to carry forward their losses above the $1 million mark. $1 million sounds like a lot of money to you and me. But as I just explained, if you're a small business with very high volume but thin margins, which is especially true in the retail space, among restaurants, among gas stations, I'll use that example again, you're being judged, frankly, unfairly on a metric that is totally disconnected from your actual net income, which is how we describe profitability. So we come back to that central thesis, which is that gross income and net income are two dramatically different things. We should evaluate a business's profitability and eligibility for various tax deductions based on their net income, certainly not the gross income.
Let's take a look at school funding. You've been a vocal critic of the Newark public schools. You sent a letter along with some of your colleagues to the U.S. Department of Education asking for oversight of some of their COVID relief spending. I spoke with Superintendent Roger Leone earlier this week. I asked him about this. He said, look, there was a 2023 audit they uncovered and they looked at everything we did and we passed that test and we moved on. Of course, there was the state money that was refunded. But you take issue with these students that were recommended for tutoring. 15,803 students recommended, only 1,938 received it. Where did you get that data?
Well, let me say a few things. Number one, I am critical not of the Newark School District, but of its unserious adult leadership that, in my opinion, is failing the children of Newark. The taxpayers across New Jersey are taking a hit here as well because we're seeing flagrant misuse of public taxpayer dollars. But at the end of the day, it's those Newark school children who are being failed by unserious adults running the Newark School District. You know, the superintendent may say that there is nothing to see here. The U.S. Department of Education feels differently, and they have responded to our request to look into this, and that's exactly what they intend to do.
So they have indicated that, yes, they will be opening an investigation?
They have expressed interest in this issue, and we hope that it leads to something like that. Nothing about this is punitive. We are not targeting the Newark School District. We want to make sure that the public dollars that are going to the Newark School District, again, around $1.3 billion of Newark's $1.6 billion budget comes from New Jersey state taxpayers outside the city of Newark. And all of those taxpayers, every taxpayer in the state of New Jersey, should have the confidence that the tax dollars we send to the city of Newark for the Newark School District to help these kids who need a shot are being used in the best and highest way.
Okay, we'll see what happens there. I want to switch gears again. Look at, you sit on the Transportation and Independent Authorities Committee in the Assembly. We see the World Cup coming to New Jersey. First, you've taken issue with advertising spent here because of the naming. What's your issue there?
Well, it's a big issue, and it's not just mine. I'm sick and tired of handing over the naming rights to these major events we have in the state of New Jersey to New York. FIFA is calling this the New York, New Jersey World Cup at the New York, New Jersey Stadium. It's not. There's nothing about New York in any of this. The stadium is in New Jersey. The games will be played in the state of New Jersey. And I think New Jersey taxpayers, we come back to them yet again because we as legislators have a fiduciary duty to New Jersey's taxpayers. If we're going to commit $26 million of New Jersey taxpayer money to advertise the World Cup, the least we can do is call it the New Jersey World Cup. Or the New Jersey Stadium. That
does not seem to be happening. Doesn't look like it's going to happen. Do you think that, of course, this is not a solid plan, but we've heard rumblings that there could be $100 NJ Transit ticket prices if you're going back to New York for any ticket holders to the games. Governor Sherrill has not confirmed that plan, but she did say earlier this week that New Jersey taxpayers can't shoulder the burden of getting people to and from. Do you agree with raising the ticket prices so that the onus then is on those attendees rather than NJ Transit?
No, I don't. This seems to be the default position. Raise ticket prices, raise the sales tax, raise the hotel occupancy fee around and near the World Cup games that are going to be played in the Meadowlands. That's not the solution here. New Jersey's got to get its act together because the World Cup is going to be here before you know it. And if we had a functioning, highly functioning and efficient system of public transportation, we wouldn't be having these challenges in front of us where the Sherrill administration thinks they can hit some buttons, turn some levers, allow certain people onto the trains, keep others off. That's no way to manage this volume of people.
What should that look like? What would you like to see those ticket prices set at?
The ticket price to ride the train?
If you're a ticket holder, they've increased the price, similar to what other states that are hosting the games are doing, so that they are essentially subsidizing some of the costs that are incurred onto NJ Transit for that commute.
None of this would be necessary if we had a functioning and highly efficient public transportation system. I will say, however, I am far more concerned about the New Jersey residents who need and want to use public transportation before, during, and after these games. To prohibit New Jerseyans who pay through their state tax dollars for the New Jersey transit system, they have every right to ride those trains before, during, and after the games.
And we know there's a proposal to stop any traffic out from New York to New Jersey for 4 hours before every game. That also isn't finalized. But very quickly, proposal to raise the sales tax here in the state 3% in and around the space where the games will be played. Right or wrong?
It's wrong, and it's a clear contradiction of what Governor Sherrill promised on the campaign trail last year when she said the sales tax would be off the table. Equally worrisome to me, however, is the increase in the hotel occupancy fee, which extends far beyond the Meadowlands, including to areas I represent in northwestern New Jersey. I find it unlikely that individuals staying at hotels in northwest Sussex County are there because they are going to a World Cup game, and yet they will be subjected to the same increase in the hotel occupancy fee. Now, the Sherrill administration has said, well, you could write it off on your taxes. Who's doing that? Who's doing that? It's a pain in the rear. This is unworkable. This is unnecessarily complicated. And as I said at the top, it contradicts the governor's promise to not raise taxes.
All right, we've got to leave it there. Assemblyman Michael Inganamort, thanks for taking the time today. Great to talk to you.
You too. Thanks.